All right, Nathan might have already said so, but the home place got 2.25 inches of rain, and it's still raining. And my dad's house got more like 1 inch, and Greg's house, we think, got less than an inch. But I need to drain this bunk over here, and I'm trying to get my cattle fed. We've got vehicles scattered all over, but at least we got the equipment in the sheds.
Meet the Peterson family. Our dad, the 3 Peterson brothers, and our families farm together in central Kansas. Our family farm started in 1882 and has been raising cattle and crops ever since. Please subscribe to this channel and give us a like and a comment if you enjoy the video.
That's what 2.25 inches of rain will do. More's on its way. So that's what the sedan looks like after being hayed, grazed for a long time. It just keeps raining and it keeps trying to grow. The cows keep eating it, but it's really wet now after 2 inches of rain. This area down here is staying in the water and runs into this slough area. We've got double crop Milo underwater. That should drain. Once it rains 3 inches over the next 2 days, then it'll stay underwater. Alright, this all drains. I was checking the fence down here because it had it short. It's going to be wet, the combine, and then I guess wet all when we're grazing those Milo stalks later in the winter maybe. People that say it takes 10 years to build 1 millimeter of topsoil have never grazed 9-foot tall sorghum sedan with cows, because you can't tell me that didn't add enough carbon to the soil to build the topsoil. Well, I'm about to get this semi all dirty, but Nathan left with the first one. I'm going to leave with this one. Get him 2,000 bushels delivered, covers his first contract, it gets our trailers empty, and there's a chance of rain for like 4 or 5 days. So the roads aren't going to get any better than they are now. So, feeling it up here. I got creative today. It was too wet to come out here with the feed truck, so I just put several hundred pounds of cane silage in here. Gonna bring them this, tide them along. They got all this old grass to eat. Not a ton of green left. They've eaten that. This is kind of my middle group of cows that are in between spring and mostly late spring calving, some early fall calving. Got a bull with them right now, so they'll be early fall calving next year. I wanted to give them a treat on this cold, wet day. You can help me figure out what bull to buy, huh? Okay, we grazed this field for like 35 days. Craig and I are picking up the post now. You can tell this side of the fence, you can see that yellow insulator, that post. This side of the fence has not been grazed. There's some volunteer corn right there. And then this side was grazed by 60 cows. Well, winter has come, basically. It's like 40 degrees and windy and wet and cold. Fed these cows a little something. I gotta figure out how to get 3 of my fall calf groups into 2.
Well, 5 days in a row of rain has made for an interesting fall harvest. Not sure when we'll be getting back in the fields. Might be a while. Out here at the home farm, they've had, I think, 4 inches in the last 5 days. So it's wet, but that kind of sums up the year. That's what's led to such good yields for us. So we're not complaining, but harvest is on pause for now.
All pairs are happy the sun came out. Calves are gaining weight. Rolling more corn this morning, going up this bay. I've fed a load and a half already. Gonna feed another one here. We have a load sorted up and ready to sell this week because all of our rations are full. The wagons are full. So we're using the feed truck to kind of feed the extra. The cattle market's been down like crazy amounts, like the most it's ever been down ever on Monday, and it was down again Tuesday. It was down last Friday. So we're trying to decide how long to feed these feeder cattle. We have some price protection on them that we can, some of it's flexible and some of it's not flexible. on whether you can move in and out of it. But we need to decide whether we're selling on Thursday. Greg and I will be in North Dakota. Seems like the markets are bouncing here a little bit on Wednesday. The cash market hopefully won't have dropped as much as the futures market on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So I think we'll probably still sell those 62 steers. Beef demand is really strong. You have some people who might not want to pay for the higher cuts of beef whenever they see that in the store, but it's really good product, and we don't have a whole lot of cows in this country right now in comparison to the last 75 years. And so we are trying to turn these calves into feeders and then quickly into fats so we can get more on the market. But everybody in the supply chain gets affected by tweets, reactions to whether politicians are meeting with officials from other countries. That affects imports and of course tariffs. And there's so many factors, and all the risk that's going on in the market makes the investors who buy into the market to ride the wave up higher, makes them fearful, and they exit out of those positions, which makes it drop. That's the same market we buy and sell cattle off of. So when we have cattle to sell, we want that market high. We can't control all of those factors that affect the market. That's why we have some price control on. They're called puts, hedges, and then LRPs, and that's why we have those tools, so we don't have to be totally dependent on the futures market for the price of our cattle. My hat blew off. That cow was trying to eat it. Don't eat my hat. We had a week of really wet, but the cattle market was down enough where these calves are like $200 cheaper than they were, 2-3 weeks ago. So we got this 68. We didn't really want a whole pot load, but we wanted to buy some while they were cheap. And most of these are weaned. These are out of El Dorado. Ready to roll out wire here. We are at Greg's field. It's bordering this nice green field of alfalfa, so we're gonna have to keep the fence hot. But I put in the post here. Greg's gonna put in the rest of the posts. But I'm gonna get driving with the wire. Gotta make it around. We're just doing half of it today. They don't need the whole pivot circle at once. There's too much corn out there for that. So we're spreading out. We'll put about 60 cows on the south half first. And when they get that cleaned up, we'll move the wire to the north half. So I'm driving along this field, or this south border that has a bunch of hedge ball trees. So some of those will be inside the fence. Sometimes cows get in trouble chewing on them. But making the pass, Greg's here now, and so I got a couple T-posts from him to go clockwise around the field, and he kept the other T-posts to go counterclockwise, and then we'll meet over there. He's still moving the pivot as well. So we're at the corner over here, about out of wire, but this is where we're gonna water the cows. They're gonna have some goats as friends.
Just moving this pivot so that we can put up electric fence around this cornfield. The cows are gonna clean up with the combine mist and then eat some of the stalks and leaves as well.
All right, I got here with the truck. Empty truck. My dad had already left with the full semi. We are doing this double crop corn for our neighbors after chopping rye off of here. It's got a better ground conditions than our bean field, so we're gonna do it. We got the 8-row John Deere back on the 9770, but I'm already having more fun than I did during most of the bean harvest. I got to park that semi, rush kind of into this grain cart because I saw Nathan had corn tipping up over his bin. And so I got in the grain cart. I got to get this unloaded. I'll already have enough grain to fill the front of the semi, and then I'll go in there and grab Nathan and I's lunches that my mom packed, and I'll take him his lunch when I need to unload him the second. I'm having fun. Beans in the dark, not as much fun as corn with the full crew and everything running smooth. This field has a lot of little nooks along the river as it meanders. And so it's slow work for the grain car to go dump over by the road because you can't drive the truck out here very far as it's muddy, and then come all the way back around here. But the combine hasn't had to stop, and that's the most important part. The corn is testing in the 15s, and they said go ahead and keep cutting. So that's what we're doing, trying to get harvest, take advantage of the sunny harvest days, so we're not harvesting too far into November, because we ain't finishing in October this year. Well, the trucks were falling behind, but my dad really picked, he was quick on that load. Sounds like Dad says we're the only ones in the elevator. Well, Nathan's picking up a rider, so he didn't quite make it back. My bin full, but this stuff is coming off the field. We're getting close to half done. I'd say we're about half done.
Well, we are going to knock out this field of irrigated corn. Buzz Lightyear in his spaceship.
Feeding in the dark. Hopefully Greg's able to finish that field. Dad and I got back. We had to feed hay to the new cattle and make sure the water and everything was good for them. And now I'm finishing my grower chores. And he has to take the feed wagon, or my dad has to take the feed truck down to the cows at his place. But hopefully next week we can get those cows turned out from his bunks onto a new field of corn stalks. So. This little farm kitty likes to walk out in the yard with me, but there's a lot of traffic here, so it's a little too lovable. Needed to stay up closer to the house, but it's so cute with its white paws. Brought a little silage out. I'm gonna start. I've eaten most of the leaves off of this, so I dumped 4 piles, about 800 pounds total of silage out. So we'll get their rumens used to a little silage mixed in. My best count in the last week or 10 days on these cattle has been 38, and I knew I was short, but I could never see them all. But now feeding them in different piles this morning, I counted all 43. So I guess I should try to count the calves too. But I got 43 moms.
3, go! Oh.
The local town straw bales, it's rained so much, there's wheat growing out of them. The decorations, wow. Finished that double crop corn for our neighbors. Greg filled a semi-load of beans this morning on Nathan's field, but now we have our full labor crew available for Monday through Wednesday. So we're gonna switch to Milo while we have extra truckers. And then when Greg and I are gone to Wyoming Thursday, they'll be cutting beans. We thought that was worth the switch. And our one combine was parked in the shed right next to this Milo field. That's a really wide pass. It's got a 40-foot Macton on it right now. They were just getting set up. And so we're gonna get to cut the Milo with that, and then the beans later in the week with that as well. So this is the beautiful red Kansas crop, Milo or grain sorghum. And then you can see what's left behind offers a lot of good leaves for grazing. So I'm still not sure if there'll be spring red cows on this or fall pears that graze this, but there'll be a lot of good eating here left after we take the grain off the top. Okay, Greg showed up from the bean field. And so after he filled his semi, he's here. Nathan's making his second pass across the field.
All right, we are cutting some Milo We switched to Milo to let the ground dry on the soybean fields a little. Hopefully they'll hang in there and not start splitting. Also, we got another fun little demo going on here. So we've got a FD 240 flex draper Macdon on here that we're gonna get to run for 2 or 3 days. It's nice, running real smooth. We've got the triple reel option. So it'll be fun to run in soybeans tomorrow or the next day. So these headers compared to what we have, we have like 10-year-old FD75s, and they work good. The updates on these would be the triple reel. They have deeper draper belts. They have a flexible cutter bar, so more flex actually on the ground. And then the wings flex farther than ours, like ours do. We have the wing flex and the flexible cutter bar on this one. They've got some aluminum to make them lighter. This is a 40-footer, so it's actually wider than the one we have. So we're taking it nice and easy.
All right, we switched over to Milo. The beans were fine, but we had a couple different reasons. Made the most sense to switch to Milo, so we're cutting Kendall's Milo now. I always enjoy the switch to Milo because it means we're almost done with harvest. We're on the final crop, but we do still have 2 fields of beans to cut, but we're gonna get back to those on Wednesday.
Good looking Milo.
Well, I would say this is some of the best Milo I've ever cut. Filling a lot of trucks, but one load test at 16. You can't go very fast with this 40-foot head, but you can sure harvest a lot of grain quick. You can't even make a full pass. Well, we did from the road over, and once we got to the white Milo, we knew that it was another half point higher. And even the red Milo was 16, which is 1.5% higher than our hand tester was. So we're off back to beans. I refilled my water and got a quick cheese and cracker snack for my mom's house.
Well, we switched back to beans. The Milo was too wet, so kind of a mess of a day logistically, but we should be able to cut here for the rest of the night.
Alrighty folks, the Milo was a little wetter than what we wanted, so we switched back to beans. Went over the first terrace with this FD 240 and it was very nice. It hugs the ground nice. And this one has the auto reel speed, which the old ones had that if it was installed, but ours didn't have it on it. So we've gone without that, but it's kind of nice. Looking good.
Using this Green Valley feed bunk again. Got a position where these last few is back into the fall calvers. It's coming up to eat. They're done with that sedan. Watering these cows. I was about to head down to my dad's with the feed truck, and I remembered that I needed to come do this water. So I came by the water. We got a nice harvest sunset going on. And then I have a church board meeting tonight, so I will probably leave from the field to do that now that my chores are done. So I haven't been by this field. Greg told me that the field was overgrown, like outgrew the bales, and he was not wrong. There's like 90 bales out here, and the feed is taller than most of them, so you can see them. I would think we'd be able to see them to pick them up. We'll probably find a way to graze this, but we're gonna have to move some bales, and that's gonna track down some of it, but probably graze it at the same time as we graze these corn stalks over here. A lot of feed still whenever we got those fall rains.
Well, it's been a long day. Spent a lot of it getting ready and switching fields, but hopefully tomorrow goes better. We did have one combine breakdown, a belt broke. Hopefully get that fixed in the morning and have a better day tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everyone. Check out our music videos linked in the description. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, and explore our website, www.petersonfarmbrothers.com. See you guys next time.